And we know in the animal models of these spike proteins, we know that in the humanized mice, they develop spongiform encephalopathy, which is, for the general public, mad cow disease. We also know that in the rhesus macaque models, that about 2 weeks afterwards, they developed Lewy bodies in the brain and inflammation. And Lewy bodies are what cause Alzheimer's and a number of neurologic disorders.
Okay, so here's the review. This is the COVID-19 vaccines may lead to prion-linked brain degeneration similar to mad cow disease. A new review of possible unintended consequences. Yeah, well, we don't know that, do we? And I don't personally believe that is the case. I believe it's a... Here, Pfizer claims the RNA fragments likely, this is a quote from Pfizer, the RNA fragments likely will not result in expressed proteins due to their assumed rapid degeneration in the cell, the researchers note. Remember, this doesn't happen in mice. All the mice get CJD, they all get mad cow's disease and they all die. So it's just assumed, because we haven't done any tests. The tests on humans are ongoing, and it translates about 1.5 years. Well, like I say, the whole of humanity, the whole of the human race literally rests upon a likely assumed assumption. Yeah. Things may lead to unexpected. Yeah. Okay. So we've got unexpected and unintended here. So they're really being very, very careful, aren't they? The very fact that they've put in this unintended here and unexpected here suggests that they believe it's actually the opposite, don't they, really? I mean, otherwise, why would you emphasise? It would just be assumed, wouldn't it? You wouldn't have to state it in every sentence. Pfizer has paid over 2.3 billion in fines for lying. Yeah, for lying. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it mind-blowing? Yeah, the whole future of humanity allegedly rests upon their statement here. Pfizer claims the RNA fragments likely will not result in expressed proteins, but if they do, the whole of the human race is extinct. Yeah, and it's the same company that's paid 2.3 billion in fines for lying. You could not make this up, could you? It really is like we've got a major problem here that needs instant global revolution, and every politician on earth needs an arse spanking or kicking. You know, I'm trying to be nice about it, obviously. I mean, fuck now. Just think about what I've just said. Just those two, you know. Okay, there we go. Planet Earth, 2021. Madness.
Something very smelly is going on.
So what struck me about this new review by Stephanie Seneff, who works because I've reached out to Stephanie Seneff on Twitter and she's not replied to me. Yeah, I'll keep trying. But she works for the Artificial Intelligence Laboratory at MIT. You know, context error surely, or is it not an error? Dr. Nye, who specialises in naturopathic oncology. It's got too many G's in that. Immersion Health. Okay, so yeah, they're saying here that well, first of all, what strikes me is this a genuine quote from Pfizer? Is this right? We've got a quote here from Pfizer. Recall here. Pfizer claims the RNA fragments likely, this is a quote from Pfizer, the RNA fragments likely will not result in expressed proteins due to their assumed rapid degeneration in the cell, the researchers note. Remember, this doesn't happen in mice. All the mice get CJD, they all get mad cow's disease and they all die. So it's just assumed, because we haven't done any tests, the tests on humans are ongoing, and it translates about 1.5 years after your first vaccination. You'll get the first signs of CJD, of mad cow disease, and die if well, like I said, the whole of humanity, the whole of the human race, literally rests upon a likely assumed assumption. Yeah. And do you really believe that is an assumption? The military DARPA have been involved in mRNA. Think about this. The military DARPA have been involved in mRNA vaccines, pushing mRNA vaccines since 2010. Yeah, that's a long time. Now, we know the military, we know as a matter of fact, the military experiment on people, whether, that's covertly or overtly. I mean, I put this video up recently to make this point. War Against the Poor, it's called. I mean, I can sum it up in a couple of seconds.
Was safe. Martino Taylor believes documents prove otherwise.
There's a lot of evidence that indicates that people in St. Louis and the city, particularly in minority communities, were subjected to military tests that was connected to a larger radiological weapons development and testing project.
For the first time, she links the St. Louis testing to a company called U.S. Radium.
Okay, so yeah, it's a fact. That's what happens. So we then review both components and the intended biological response to these vaccines, including prediction of the spike protein itself and the potential relationship to a wide range of both acute and long-term induced pathologies such as blood disorders, neurodegenerative diseases, and autoimmune diseases. Among these potential induced pathologies, we discussed the relevance of prion protein-related amino acid sequences within the spike protein. We also present a brief review of studies supporting the potential for spike protein shedding transmission of the protein from a vaccinated to an unvaccinated person, resulting in symptoms induced in the latter. Yeah. Oh my God.